Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we'll be reviewing the Jeep Wrangler 4XE. This particular one is a Rubicon X. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Doug Smith Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in American Fork for giving me some time with this Wrangler. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. So powering the 4XE is a turbo 2-liter 4-cylinder paired to a hybrid and an 8-speed. The fuel economy with this, or MPGe rating rather, is 49. Standard fuel economy without hybrid assist is 20 miles per gallon, and then this can go 22 miles on a charge. It produces 375 horsepower and then 470 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, I've already reviewed a Rubicon X, so I'll just quickly focus on some of the key elements with the 4XE here. So first off, 4XE decal. Rubicon has blue. You've got blue on the tow hooks. You still get the steel bumper with this. And so yeah, good looking rig. Now, even though this is an X, you only get 33-inch tall tires. With the 4XE, you can't get a 4XE Extreme Recon. You've got rock rail protection, and then it's all painted with the fender flares and the top. You still get the spare 33 here on the back. You've got another blue recovery point. And then inside, see the storage space is pretty much unchanged. So nothing too crazy there. I do think though that you still get the little under load floor storage. Whoops. Just the license plate cover, don't worry about it, folks. Got the nice taillights with this as well. And so, yeah, exterior, solid. And then this is a 4-door, so inside you'll see blue stitching, not because it's a 4-door, but you'll see it's easy to access the back seats. But again, more of that blue stitching throughout. And then this leads us up front, where again, we've got more of that blue stitching. Blind spot warning with this particular one. This one has the leather power seats. They're pretty fancy pants. And then payload, if you're wondering, is 850 on this. And then this is important for the 4XE, so you've got a hybrid mode, an electric mode, and then an e-save mode right there. So this basically just saves the battery. That uses electric power, and then that uses both powertrains. Now you've got more blue stitching with the steering wheel. This comes with stuff like adaptive cruise control, radio controls in the back of the steering wheel. Gauge cluster changes are important, so this lets us know how much range we have with the battery, also with the fuel and then overall range, and then lets you know if you're using power, if you're charging the battery, and then you have normal RPM gauge there on the other side. So it's got the info you need. Being an X, we've got the double camera setup, which is always a nice feature, and you've got a shortcut bar here on the side. This is going to come with dual zone climate, heated seats, and a heated steering wheel. You've got all the physical controls down below for the infotainment system, for the seats, for the climate, and then this is your regenerative braking mode so that you can get more out of the battery. Being a Rubicon, we still have the front and rear locking diffs, sway bar disconnect, off-road plus, and then you notice that we've got 2-wheel high, 4-wheel auto, 4-wheel high part-time, 4-wheel low. Tons of storage here. Got more blue stitching on the center console, more blue stitching on the dash, and then this does come with the top insulation and then hard top, so you've got the little knobs to remove it. So here's our window sticker for this, and wow, 29Y, 8,900 bucks, but Rubicon X package. So anyways, 73,130 is the total MSRP on this. Let's see how it performs. Charging port here on the side. It's high up so that it doesn't get messed up. Silent. So 4XE Wrangler. This is, well, I think a powertrain that Jeep was hoping more people would love. And I know some people do love their 4XEs. I've talked to some people that own them, and you know, the electric driving around town is really nice, but as we drive it, you'll see there are some challenges with the powertrain. And obviously it doesn't help that when you look at the news of the powertrain that some of these were literally burning to the ground. That doesn't that doesn't bode well at all. But yeah, the the electric side of it is really cool. You got the instant torque, it's quiet, it's smooth, it's just great for around town, like I said. Oh, hitting the road. It's pretty quick to turn on the engine when you have, I mean, we don't have a lot of range in this, but it will go, if you just have it in full electric mode, it will go until the battery's pretty much toast if you don't want to use any sort of gas. Now, just like most plug-in hybrids, the engine's rowdy, and this is because it is charging the battery. So it's not, and I don't have an e-save mode, so it's not like full-on charging it right now as much, but still, you got a little bit of that happening, and so it's just a little bit, like, this is noisier than, I just drove a Willys with the same engine, no 4xe, and it's significantly quieter. So that's the first thing about these plug-in hybrids that's a little bit obnoxious, is the engines are just louder, because they're having to work a little bit more. And I wonder about the long-term reliability of that, with the engine having to kind of work a little bit more to keep the battery at, you know, it's not charging it all the way unless you put an e-save mode, but like some level of charge. Now it is smooth, however, like most hybrids, doesn't feel quite as, and you'll see with the acceleration, it doesn't feel quite as powerful as the power figures suggest. You get like a good low-end punch, but then it just kind of feels as though you're only getting engine at the top. It's like, this is quick, and it feels slightly quicker than a just base 2.0, but it's not as big of a difference as you might think, especially on the top end here. I wouldn't call it slow, but like I said, it's not as much power as you'd think, considering the power figures on paper. So that's another kind of like downside with it. And then on the highway, you don't get as much range. Like, again, this is great around town. On the highway though, you're not gonna, it'd be hard to get that over 20 miles of range. But some benefits, you don't feel like you're conceding anything in terms of drivability. Like, this doesn't handle worse than a regular Wrangler. It doesn't feel as though there's, again, powers doesn't feel like crazy high, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like you're losing anything with the 4xe. You kind of just gain the extra ability to plug it in at home and get a little bit more range for grocery store shopping. And people talk about the off-roading. I've taken one of these 4xEs off-road, and in my experience, it's not really any better than a regular Wrangler in terms of the smoothness, the power delivery, and everything. Again, I get it, the instant torque's nice, but Wranglers are so good that it's not necessary. Throttle modulation's pretty easy with these. Yeah, see, it just doesn't feel, it's not bad, but it just doesn't feel all that powerful. Like, more powerful than a 2.0. So to sum things up, my personal take, I think that, yeah, Jeep should probably still offer since they've already done the engineering, right? They've already spent the money to build this powertrain. Yeah, they should still offer it, but I don't think that this should be the premium powertrain in the Wrangler. I think the premium powertrain should be the Hurricane, and, you know, 6.4 Hemi still, right? As long as they can keep that, they should keep it. But I just think that there's a big gap where, you know, basically Jeep offers a lot of powertrains in the Wrangler. You got a V6, you got a 6.4 Hemi, you got the 2.0 turbo, and you got the 4xe here. But they are all over the place in terms of what you see in this segment, in terms of performance and power and fuel economy and all that. And so it's kind of like they have the best top-end powertrain. Like, nobody can beat the 6.4 Hemi in this segment. But they don't have a good middle-of-the-line powertrain. And I think that's really hurting the Wrangler. Because if they had the Hurricane, that would be so much better than what Ford has on the Bronco currently. And it would really, again, it would really level out the Wrangler. So let me guys think about the 4xe. I think that it's great in concept, but I don't think this should be Jeep's premium powertrain for the Wrangler. I think that this should be a powertrain option. But let me know your thoughts.